Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this week's Star of the Week Assembly.
Good morning, everyone.
It's really lovely to be with you again this week. The sun is shining. It feels like spring is finally upon us, and only just over a week to go until we'll be welcoming you all back to school on Monday, the 8th of March. We're really excited about having the whole school back and really looking forward to seeing you and getting started with our learning again, because it feels like it's just been far too long and the school has been far too quiet and far too empty these past few weeks. So very much looking forward to seeing you all. But in the meantime, we've got this week's Stars of the Week, and we'll be finding out some of the fantastic learning that's been happening at home this week.
So let's start with nursery, and Sabila has been selected this week for showing great drawing and imagination skills. So as you can see from the picture, Sabila has drawn a giraffe all by herself using a variety of colours and writing resources. And not only has she done this, but she's also managed to write her name on it as well, which is a really big achievement for a nursery child. So well done, Sabila.
Great. Look at the way that Sabila's holding her pencil there, and got a really good pencil grip, producing some fantastic learning. And in reception, we've got some more really lovely learning this week. So we have Isra, and Isra has tried really hard with her phonics this week. And she's really persistent as well with her learning. I can see some brilliant fruits, and I can see that Isra's tried really hard with her sounds to write the names of those fruits. And I know in early years they've been doing Handa's Surprise this week, and I think this piece of work is inspired by Handa's Surprise, some lovely illustrations and some really excellent writing. So very well done, Isra.
And writing on the line as well, which is often quite a tricky skill to master.
Some really nicely formed letters there. Very clear what Isra's written.
So on to year one, and in year one they have started a new book over the last few weeks called Last Stop on Market Street. And Miss Lopez has selected Ellie because Ellie has shown great enthusiasm towards this new book. She has a great understanding of the text and recognises the main actions and events, and has managed to put them into a correct sequence. And as we can see here, we've got a picture of Ellie's story map where she's started with the beginning of the story and identified the key features to take it all the way to the end. And I know that Ellie's been using this to then retell the story in her own words, which will definitely help her when she comes to write her own version in a few weeks' time. So well done, Ellie.
It's a very sophisticated story map when I saw that on the screen there. Some great illustrations, and I think having read the book myself, that's a really good depiction of the story. In year two, we have Emmy this week. We have another story map.
So these are
being really well used across different classes in the school. And it shows great understanding of the new book, The Iron Man. I must admit, I remember reading The Iron Man when I was at school. I was probably in year 2 or 3 as well. Great story to be reading, and I think year 2 are going to really enjoy working on that book this term.
Yeah, it's a lovely book. So on to year 3. Now we've got quite a lot to share from year 3. The stars of the week this week are actually the whole class. So something really exciting happened in year 3 at the end of the half term. Mr. Queen challenged everybody to take part in a bake-off. And so all the families worked together and were working as a great team to create a cake, which was then shared on Seesaw. And Miss Sadowitz really wanted to share not only her appreciation of the effort that the children put in, but also to the parents as well, how they helped the students to complete their best bit of baking. They were really high spirits. I think there was lots of enthusiasm. They were talking about it on their daily teams meet as well. And I know that Miss Sadowitz did some baking herself as part of this bake-off. She brought that in for some of the children in the community classroom. And Miss Sadowitz really proud of the effort that went in from all families in year 3. So well done to you, year 3. And we have some examples here, which made me feel extremely hungry when
they look delicious.
So we've got some example there of Mr. Quain's right at the top, and underneath we've got Miss Cassidy's effort for her bake-off. We've got Krishan taking part in his stage 3, and I really like your outfit there, Krishan, as a true baker. And we've got an example of Hannah's cakes that she was working on as well. So just some samples of the delicious cakes that were produced in year 3. So well done, year 3.
I look at those and I'm not sure which one I would choose.
I think it's like a sample of all.
I know, they all look delicious. I must say the cinnamon swirls at the top, I think one of my favourites, yes. But they all look absolutely delicious. In year 4, we've got Rahana. She's gone above and beyond. I always love it when I see that phrase, above and beyond, when completing her science work. So it's great to see people continuing with all of their subjects, even during lockdown. We've seen some great science, geography and history. So very well done to Rahana in year 4.
On to year 5, Majana, you've been selected by Miss Naeem for completing and editing all of your work on Seesaw. And I know I talk about this so often, but the importance of editing your work, not just doing it once and finishing, but going back and responding to the teacher's comments. So well done, Majana.
In year 6 Bristol, we got Katie, consistent effort with her work on Seesaw. She also did an excellent art project as well. This is not art here, this is some maths work, and it looks like Katie has been doing some algebra, and has been doing some really good work on using different formulae, different expressions using algebra. So very well done to you, Katie, for great consistent effort.
That can be a tricky topic.
It can.
It can be. On to Sheffield, we've got some examples of work from Amelia. So Amelia, you have always been trying your hardest and participating well in the live reading sessions that have now been happening in year 6. She's always really willing to answer the questions and to read out loud on Teams, which can be quite a daunting thing to read out in front of your peers, but well done, Amelia. And we've got some examples of the sentences that you have been working on using colourful semantics in your reading lessons. So well done you, Amelia.
We have a special shout out this week, don't we? Year 6 have been working on art projects. They've been creating their World War I dioramas, and we saw Sammy's in our assembly just before the half term. Billy's been working on one at home, and he's tried 3 times to do this project. And you were telling me about it this morning, Mrs. Killian, and what great perseverance, Billy, because the first time the glue gun got too hot and they had to throw the project away. I think it caught fire, did it not?
Smoking, yeah.
The second time it just didn't turn out quite right, but the third time the project worked really well, and it's the Battle of Verdun, and we've got the grey figures are the Germans, the blue and brown are the British soldiers, and you can see a really excellent piece of work from Billy there. And I know Billy really enjoys his history, and I think the historical content and the historical knowledge that's gone into creating this, it's not just an art project, it's a really good historical representation. So very well done to you, Billy.
Yeah, well done, Billy. Great perseverance.
That's excellent.
So we have a few more names that will be receiving our weekly postcards this week from across the school, where your teachers have acknowledged the effort that you've been putting into your learning, and that deserve a special mention in our assembly and receiving a postcard. So for in reception, we've got Anila, Idris, Rania and Arij. Well done to you. You've all had different reasons. Some of you have been working on developing your fine motor skills throughout this throughout the whole of lockdown, and Miss Spencer really wanted to acknowledge the effort that you've been putting in. Some people have been working really hard on challenging themselves, going above and beyond, not just the tasks that they've been set, but extending that at home. So well done to you 4 from reception. We have a few names from year 2. We've got Zakira, Massimo, Riley and Lewis for your consistent hard work and effort that you've been putting into your learning from the moment that lockdown started. And I know that Mr. Knight is very impressed with the 4 of you. Moving on to year 5, a few names that we've had before, but again, being raised again for their constant responding to marking and editing their work to make sure that they're working to the very best of their ability. We've got Isa, Hannah, Sean and Khalid. And I think we've already talked about this, but Billy, huge shout out to you as well for the perseverance and art project that you've completed. So for all of you, you'll be receiving something fun in the post.
Lovely. And birthdays. We've got 4 birthdays to mention today, and these take us up until the end of next week, just before we come to school. There won't be a Stars of the Week assembly next week, so we're going to cover all 4 birthdays that we've got coming up. So first birthday to mention was Bilal in year 6. Bilal was 11 on the 22nd of February, so earlier this week. Amelia in year 2 is turning 7 on the 28th, so that's Sunday. Iyad in year 1 is going to be turning 6 next Friday, and Freddie in year 3 is going to be turning 8 next Friday. So 4 swift birthdays to celebrate. So many happy returns for your birthdays, and hope you really enjoy those. And today's assembly, Mrs. Killian, it's your last assembly for a while, isn't it?
It is, yes.
And I'm sure most people know why it's Mrs. Killian's last assembly, but in case it's escaped your attention, Mrs. Killian, where are you going?
I'm going to have a baby. What you probably can't see is, because it's quite well hidden, we have got a very big growing bump here, and baby is due very soon. So I'm leaving for a little while to have baby, and then I plan to be back before you all leave in the summer term. So I will be back to say goodbye to you all for the summer holidays. And so I'm going away for a little while, but I am definitely coming back.
Good. Well, that's the most important bit, is that you are coming back, but also that you it's a really exciting time for your family.
Yes.
Obviously everyone at Arc Swift wishes you lots of luck, and will miss you for the period of time that you are not here with us. But we'll be looking forward to hearing about the safe arrival of baby Killian.
Yes.
And
be sure to send photos.
Good. We look forward to hearing that, and obviously we look forward to the time when we'll be welcoming Mrs. Killian back to school. So yes, this assembly double act ends for a little while, but it coincides nicely with coming back to school, and so hopefully we'll be back in having school assemblies from the 5th of March. 8th of March even, just making sure I say the right date.
Well, it's been such a shame that I've not been able to say goodbye to all of you individually. I know that is something that has I've been quite touched by the people that I've been able to say goodbye to, but also quite sad that there's so many of you at home watching this that I haven't been able to say a personal goodbye to. But I know that because I read all the comments on Seesaw, I know that lots of you watch this, and therefore you'll know the message that I'm sending to you, which is be safe, keep doing really well on your learning, and look forward to seeing you soon.
Lovely, thank you. Well, it's a lovely sunny weekend ahead. Have a really good Friday. Have a lovely weekend when it comes, and we'll be busy preparing next week, ready for your arrival in school the week after. Thank you for joining our Stars of the Week assembly as always. See you soon. Bye.
Bye.